Brooke, we talk all the time, but it is so fun to now have you on this platform. Welcome to the Your Sorority Journey podcast to kick off Recruitment Takeover.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
So, Brooke, if you haven't seen from our announcements on social media, is our content creation and branding intern. And so she is helping us translate all of the education, all of the vision that we have through concepts into visuals that you all can consume and share to grow, especially this summer through your recruitment preparation. But before we dive into what your background is and what your thoughts are on social media, specifically in this season, will you help us? Will you lead us through your sorority journey and where it started?
Yeah, so I went through recruitment in 2022, and I'm an out-of-state student at the University of Tennessee. I live about 6 hours away from Knoxville, where the university is. And I went to college knowing absolutely nobody, and that really led me to want to join a sorority. So I ended up choosing my chapter, Phi Mu, which I love, and I've met all of my best friends, and it's been an asset in kind of finding what I want to do career-wise as well and networking and finding what I love through roles in the chapter, which I never imagined I would do. But I ended up being the graphics chair at one point, so I created all of the social media graphics and posters and things like that. And right now I'm the PR chairwoman, so I do all of the brand collaborations, all of the social media, and yeah, just my time in my sorority has been amazing and yeah, I means the world to me. So that's where I am now.
Well, we love having you on the team and appreciate how your sorority experience has really equipped you to be such an asset for her sorority journey this summer. And I'm excited to, as we're reframing recruitment takeover this year and kind of removing the focus from specific roles in recruitment to just like overarching topics that most recruitment participants interact with. Kicking off with social media feels so perfect because it is like the first thing that many of our PNMs are looking to for advice or support throughout the process. It's many of like the top focuses of our vice presidents of recruitment or other recruitment leaders in thinking about how their chapter or community is portrayed. What are your thoughts on this concept of rush talk and overall heightened awareness of social media in regards to recruitment?
Yeah, so in a way, I love the hype and the enthusiasm behind sorority social media and social media in general because it's an amazing industry. It's really fun. It gives you the space to express yourself, express your chapter, which is awesome. But then there's kind of this um, pressure and kind of also this new content that's been being pushed, like the dances and things like that. I'm sure y'all know what I'm talking about, but it's kind of created a more of a not fake, but this persona that it's kind of not as authentic as it should be when you're kind of trying to show PNMs the values of your chapter and the sisterhood in your chapter. I feel like dancing doesn't really do that all the time. So
Sure.
it's there's definitely pros and cons to the rise of sorority social media.
I feel the same way. I think it's so double-sided, and I think the rise of this concept of rush talk in 2020, like literally when you went through recruitment, that's the year I started her sorority journey, was so interesting. And I think we can associate or correlate a lot of that to COVID, right? And this heightened opportunity to showcase and share experiences, especially when most of our interactions with people were virtual. It felt like a way to cultivate community. But in a certain sense, I do think it's continued in a forced way. Like I think as you were talking, the word I was hearing was some sometimes the ways our chapters specifically are showing up on social media feel kind of forced in an effort to try to align with the efforts that other chapters are making to stay like relevant, or we love the word in recruitment competitive. But I
Mhm.
think sometimes what happens is we lose the actual personality and authenticity of these chapters in an effort to like post something that's trending. Now, that's not to criticize chapters' efforts to be where PNMs are. I think that's a really important distinction is chapters, yes, post on TikTok, post on Instagram, like be visible where PNMs are looking for information because they are just not Googling your chapter's websites. Like our national organizations want us to keep our websites public, that's for the parents, right? That's for like being in good standing with the university. That is not for your future sisters. So I do think there's a balance there, like you're talking about, of okay, this is a necessary evil, and I don't feel like that even is the right word. This is an asset, but when used the wrong way, can also be to our detriment because we are not accurately representing who we are by trying to fit a mold instead of showcase who we are. You've been PR chair before, or you have at least been a part of the cultivating of social media on the recruiter side. What has these like content hours felt like on your end as a recruiter? Or what are some ideas that you're excited to incorporate as the PR chair this fall?
Yeah, so content hour, it's really fun. And I feel like that's a part that nobody really sees. Like they see the dance or they see the video that we make that day.
Yeah,
And what they don't see is like everybody's having fun, everybody's talking, everybody's laughing. But then when the camera starts, it's like, okay, here's the choreography. So I wish people saw that. And it's also really fun always coming up with our ideas, and our social media team has fun being creative and thinking,
yeah,
oh, how can we like set ourselves apart or even like work with other chapters. So it is a really fun time. I think it's um, a very fun part of every day during work week. And this year, I would say I'm excited to. Last year, we started implementing a couple of more values-based videos during content hour. Like last year, we set up a camera and we put a piece of paper on it that says FIMU isn't FIMU without. And you would walk up to the
oh,
camera and be like, FIMU isn't FIMU without. And then you would say, like, my friends or my little, my big. So things like that, just showing, maybe do a couple little trends to, I guess, keep up with the Joneses, but also
yeah.
just showing the more authentic side of things because I wish people saw more of that. But yeah.
Well, especially, there's also the side that I hear from a lot of advisors or sorority professionals, right, who are like, I just can't approve a work week schedule that has that many like content hours, right? Like, what are
Yeah.
we actually accomplishing? And I think if we changed it from content hour to like an hour of sisterhood, and instead of putting so much pressure on our members to like learn this dance really quick, are like five dancers in the chapter while everybody else is back here like doing the wave. I feel like one, you'd have an easier time with your advisors if it was just like, hey, we're gonna plan an hour of sisterhood where our members just have that time. Maybe we have an ice cream truck, maybe we just get like snacks from Costco, or we like, and then we have these stations where members can like congregate and like catch up about how their summer was. They can participate in a little video tripod activity that like they get to talk about their sisterhood. Maybe there's like question prompts that they get to ask their sisters to just like maybe get a little bit of recruitment prep in, but also just be hanging out. And then your PR chair can run around with their iPhone and take videos of that happening. Like that's what's happening during work week. And don't get me wrong, like when you got a stellar theme that goes perfectly with an audio, don't let that go to waste. Like use that audio when you're all dressed up as like rodeo queens or minions, whatever you're dressed up as for your theme. Like be sure to like capitalize on the things that are trending, that are funny, that like but showcase your authenticity. I guess maybe that's where we can talk about next is like how do you stay on trend while being authentic to yourself as an individual recruiter, and more importantly authentic to your chapter's culture and sisterhood through being while being trending and being able to connect with potential members where they're at.
Yeah, I think keeping a good mix is something that I've really focused on even this summer. Like we'll do a post about, we were just recognized as the top philanthropic chapter last year. So we did a post,
Woo!
yay. And then we'll do like a cute, trendy post. And then we'll do, um, here's our executive committee this year. Here's a little bit about them. And then we'll do like a trending post. So just keeping a good mix so that, I mean, you're posting fun content and then you're posting like more informational values-based content, which isn't not fun. It is fun to know
Yeah.
all of that stuff and promote all of that stuff, but just keeping a good mix of both, I would say.
That's great advice. Like finding a balance between things that are maybe going to like trigger the algorithm a little bit more for a PNM, right? Who's going through like the fourth like same dance audio. I
Hmm.
also feel like it could be helpful too to like do something that's authentic to your chapter with that audio, right?
Yeah,
Like how can you use an audio that is circulating for Rush Talk or whatever that feels a little bit more genuine to your chapter that can also pull them into some of the other content that you have that might not hit the algorithm, like information about what it looks like to be a part of your chapter, an award that you all won, the carousel of your officers, whatever that is. The the trends matter because they give your potential new members like access to you, right? Like then they see you. But the rest of the content is really what tells them who you are. So I think finding ways to incorporate both, like you talked about, is so good. Do you
yeah.
have any thoughts about how to make some of those things that maybe don't feel as fun? Like you said, it's still fun. How can we make that more, those kinds of posts more engaging for a potential new member? Do you have any thoughts?
Do you mean like the posts highlighting like awards and
Sure,
kind of
yeah.
like
Like the
that?
things that you said, like less fun, like less trendy, but still important and valuable to understanding the experience.
I would say, I know that I, as a PNM, I really liked seeing kind of stuff that felt like behind the scenes and showed you like what it was really like to be in a chapter. So if it were a philanthropy post, I'm just thinking of the post we just did highlighting our award that we won. We did a post announcing that we won that award, and we also showed like all pictures from a bunch of philanthropy events that we did. So just showing
Yeah.
kind of that, hey, this is what it would look like if you joined our chapter. You would go to all of these fun events. And um, yeah, I think that's a way to be more engaging, is showing the realities of what it would be like to be in your chapter rather than just a singular, really cute photo. Like really diving into what we did the last year.
Yeah. One thing you highlighted there that I think we can forget sometimes as both recruiters, officers, PR chairs, etc., is that we are making assumptions about what our audience knows
Yeah,
about the sorority experience, right? We use language or we get comfortable with language and then we forget how nuanced and specific that is to our experience. And so one thing that you said is like the behind the scenes, this like concept of an exclusive look is so engaging to women who haven't had that glimpse or that perspective before. One, because everything is new to them, and two, because it feels to them like you trust them enough to get a glimpse behind the curtain of what things could look like. And this is more than, like you said, the perfectly curated posed photos, but the authentic, like girls sitting in the grass, like eating an otter pop, like in between recruitment workshops, or the maybe like if you have video of like what the prep looked like for some of those philanthropy events, or if you're on a pumping campus for homecoming, like all of the work, like behind the scenes, these like informal moments of sisterhood, recycling that content with stuff that's trending can go so far because it can feel like you trust them enough to give them that insight that's not perfectly polished. And I think it also gives them permission to feel like they can show up as their true, authentic selves without having to put so much like polish and precision on too.
totally. Yeah.
Let's see here. Any other ideas that you have this fall? about how you can incorporate more sisterhood into your content hours?
Yeah, so I liked what you said because we did it one time last year where we had a little ice cream truck come, and I noticed when that happened there was less content happening and more like socializing with each other. And I've noticed people make new friends during work week. I always make new friends every year. So like people that wouldn't usually talk to each other are talking to each other, and um just socializing less than pictures. There were still pictures being taken, but doing more of
Yeah.
that where we have like not incentives, but just kind of some time to unwind or like have an ice cream truck or a snow cone truck. That's really fun. And then I would say just maybe taking breaks because sometimes when you're working all day, it's just like, okay, let's take some time to breathe and let's take some time to talk to each other, sit down, have some fun because obviously we love spending time with each other, but sometimes when it's like, okay, we're running rounds all day, it's like, wow, it doesn't really feel like we're hanging out anymore. Like it's still fun, but
Totally.
taking time to spend time with each other because we joined this chapter for a reason. We love each other and probably just taking some breathers, I would say.
Yeah, and I think what you talked about too with like having things planned or things scheduled honors your members really well to say like, hey, we recognize that this is a big commitment, that like recruitment requires a lot of you. So we want you to know that like the time that you're in workshops, we have scheduled. There are breaks for you to like take what you need, but also we have moments of sisterhood that can feel like restful and rejuvenating, but we've also scheduled so you feel like it's worth your time. Because I think
Mhm.
sometimes what can happen in a content hour or even a sisterhood break is the lack of structure can make women feel kind of aimless of like I don't really know what I'm doing here or like what the purpose is of this. So to any recruitment chairs who are collaborating with their PR chairs or social media chair who is overseeing that like content hour, having a lot of clarity for your members, not being a dictator, but like gentle parenting your members to be like, hey, this is what you can expect from this time. If you're interested in like this trend, like this is something a couple of our members thought about that could be really helpful to helping potentially members like see our personality. This is optional. You can be a part of this, or you can participate in this activity that we have going on over here if it's self-paced video or if it's just time to like connect with other sisters. Maybe you make friendship bracelets or have questions that you're asking each other. I think, yes, have some time for them, short periods of time for them to be able to decide what they need in 10, 15 minutes. And then those longer sisterhood hours, give them a lot of structure of like, hey, this is how we're spending this time. These are your options for how you can engage in it. So they feel like it's worth their time and they feel like their personality is getting showcased. I also think a big part of these content hours is the individual members feeling like they have some say in what kind of content is being created, right? Like when they get to feel like a little content creator themselves, I feel like that goes a long way. Is there any way that you incorporate like member involvement in the social media production that goes into both pre-recruitment and recruitment itself?
Yeah, so I love getting people's input, anyone and everyone in the chapter, because it's like I'm kind of a one-man show. Like I need ideas, I need help. I want people to participate and I don't have all of the ideas or all of the creativity or I can't do it all on my own. So I love when people help me out or have ideas or have pictures that they took and want to use on the social media. So definitely not only during recruitment, but I love hearing from people all year. People have been texting me like, hey, here's a post idea, or here's something that we should showcase on our Instagram before recruitment starts. So
Yeah.
I love talking with everyone because sometimes it hasn't felt like that in the past. I feel like people will get really excited about being on the social media team or being in that role and kind of like not keep it all to themselves, but sometimes it didn't feel like the whole chapter had a say. So I've really been trying to implement that. And even during recruitment or work week, I love getting ideas from people because then it encourages them to participate because I feel like sometimes people won't like an idea and cause people to not participate as much in the
Yeah.
content hours. So that's definitely been a huge part of what I've tried to do in my role.
Well, I think the more you can empower your women that everyone's an influencer, like
Yeah.
every single one of you are on TikTok probably. So you are like apprised of like things that are trending or like cute ways to present things, the more you can empower them to like share those with you if you are the recruitment chair or the PR chair who's putting together some of those like content block schedules, the more included that they feel and the less pressure that you feel to orchestrate everything yourself. Like it's just a known thing that when women or especially women in your chapter feel like an owner in something, they will show up differently and the chapter will show up differently to participate in it if they are getting to showcase their thoughts or their ideas. And that brings like overall more buy-in into that area of the chapter. So when we're talking specifically about social media, we want every member of the chapter to have moments when they don't feel like they have to be on their phone or capturing every moment. So I feel like even a good idea for PR chairs would be like in each block of the day, assigning a different person to be like the documenter, right? Of like little candid moments of sisterhood that could all be compiled in a photo circle. So one, the PR chair gets to like also be a sister and like gets to like go to the ice cream truck and like engage in conversation and know that there's someone else who's got it. Again, assign it to that person because if everyone owns it, then nobody owns it, right? So like clear instructions like go a long way to make sure you get that content. But then I keep coming back to honoring people's time by giving clear expectations of what things are being done, what day, and incorporating other people's ideas will just generate so much more buy-in from the whole chapter.
Yeah. And I feel like there's also this pressure on PR chairs where I always want to make sure everybody feels included and everybody is featured on the Instagram and everyone
Yep.
feels loved and no one feels discluded because that's the worst feeling in the world. And that was my main goal when I became PR chair is I want everybody to feel like they're being featured on the Instagram and they aren't uploading to the photo circle for nothing. So I feel like giving everybody a piece of the social media allows them all to feel included. And especially during work week, everybody is at those content hours. So obviously they want to be on the Instagram and the TikTok. And it's hard because I mean, only a 20 photo limit. So I feel like giving everybody a hand in the social media helps relieve that pressure a bit. But
Yeah.
yeah,
And I think as a social media chair, there's so much pressure to showcase everyone super well and
yeah.
like bring in a lot of other perspectives and feedback, but also stand confidently and like this is your job. This is your responsibility. You've been elected and more importantly trusted to orchestrate the grid, the stories, the feed in such a way that best showcases the chapter. As we wrap up, do you have any advice for social media chairs who are trying not to be a dictator, right? They're trying to welcome the advice and insight of the chapter, how to also stand confident that at the end of the day, like they're doing the best they can uh with the resources they've been given.
Yeah, so I would say don't be afraid to be annoying because sometimes I will be in our group me and texting, hey, like especially during the summer, hey, can I have photos? Can y'all upload photos? So don't be afraid to be confident in your role and really, when people aren't putting in effort, don't be afraid to put in effort and get all of the resources you need to. And then on the flip side, when you do have all of those resources available, then just make sure you're being kind to everyone and including everyone and showcasing your chapter the best way you can. So I would just say confidence is a big thing because I feel like social media can sometimes get a lot of heat. If
Yeah.
someone feels discluded or if you're posting the dean's list and someone's name wasn't included on accident and just little things like that. So staying confident, staying kind, and just enjoy your job because it is really fun. I'd say it's the most fun role I've had.
Well, I'm so glad you've had fun with it because I do think that there is not a position that's open to more scrutiny than social media because every single person sees what gets posted. And
Yes.
so I love the balance that you just presented us of kindness, like being really kind to your members by like assuming the best in them, surveying their interests, their input, their photos for goodness sake, but also being really confident in you are posting the things that you think will showcase the chapter in the most diverse and honest, representative way that is also exciting and engaging to a potential new member. Like, be kind and be gracious to your members when they don't feel seen or represented, and be confident in that you are doing the best job you can. It's a really, really hard role. So, Brooke, thank you so much for giving us this framework to really support our PR chairs, our chapter leaders, and our recruiters in the unique role that they get to play in showcasing their chapter through social media before they meet potential new members.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm so glad that I got to talk to you and share about this role.